Okay, next question is discuss the continuity of the following functions. Okay, fx equals to log x, greatest integer of log x. Second one is fx equals to greatest integer of sine inverse x, and third one is greatest integer of 2 by 1 plus x square. Okay, see, first one I am taking fx equals to greatest integer of log ex. Now we want to discuss the continuity. It means I want to find the all possible point of discontinuity of this function. Okay, now see, first thing, this like composite function na, f of gx, then we have to check the continuity at all the point, at all the possible point of discontinuity of gx. Okay, but log x is always continuous function. Okay na, all the polynomial function, logarithmic function, exponential function and trigonometric function are always continuous at every point of their corresponding domain. Okay, respective domain. So log x is continuous, so because of this function there is no point of discontinuity. Okay, now we have here greatest integer. Okay, now in case of f of gx, after that we have to check the discontinuity at all the point where gx become c. Okay, where c is the possible point of discontinuity of f. Okay, and also we know that greatest integer, f is greatest integer. Now greatest integer is discontinuous at every integer. Okay, so we have to check the discontinuity at point when log x become integer, and also it is written in notes as a point now. Okay, in case of greatest integer of fx, okay, continuity should be checked at point where fx become integer. Okay, so see, possible point of discontinuity. First we have to find the possible point of discontinuity, then we have to check the continuity at this point, at these point. Okay, so greatest integer of fx may be discontinuous at point where fx become integer. Okay, log ex is equals to k, where k is belongs to z. K is any integer. Okay, we have to find the value of x such that log x become integer, k is any integer, but we want point, it means value of x. X is equals to, if you take antilog, e power k, where k is belongs to z, k belongs to z. If you put k equals to z, it means integer 1 2 3 minus 1 minus 2 0. Okay, so if you put all the integers, then what you will get? If you are putting minus 2, you are getting e power minus 2. If you are putting minus 1, e power minus 1. Value of k, is integer na, e power 0, that is 1, e power 1, that is 1, e power 2, e power 3, like this one, up to infinity and up to minus infinity. Now we know that log is not defined for negative value of x, but exponential e power x is always positive, so these all points are positive. Okay, so we have to check the discontinuity at these points. Now one thing, in this question there is no need to find LHL, RHL and FA. Okay, because in this question you will get at all these points you will get discontinuity. Okay, you will get that this function is discontinuous at these all points. Okay, how can I say directly? See, anytime in case of greatest integer of fx, first see fx, if fx is monotonic, it means either increasing or decreasing. Okay, if fx is monotonic, it means either increasing or decreasing, then at every point where fx become integer, function will be discontinuous. Okay, see how, suppose, and log x is monotonic, increasing function na, monotonic, it means either increasing or decreasing, but not both, either increasing or decreasing, but not like this one. Okay, this is not monotonic, either increasing or decreasing. See, how can I say, suppose this is any increasing function, monotonic na. Okay, and suppose this is fx, and at a point a this become integer, it means this value is integer, suppose this is 5. Okay, fa is equals to 5, it means at x equals to a, this fx become integer, and you want to check the continuity of greatest integer of fx. 8 x equals to a. Okay, at x equals to a. Now see, if you find fa, what you will get? Fa equals to 5, greatest integer of 5 is equals to 5. Okay, no problem. Now if you find RHL, for RHL, first I am finding, suppose this is gx. Okay, now this complete function is gx. So first I am finding value at a. What you are getting? 5, 5. Okay. Now if you find RHL, now for RHL, what you will put a plus h. A plus h, it means this is the RHL. Okay, na, value of fx. So what you will get? This is 5. This one is 5 plus. Greatest integer of 5 plus is 5. If you find LHL at a, this value is 5. This is just less than to 5. Can I say that 5 minus? 5 minus, it means 4.999. Greatest integer is 4. Now you can easily see that LHL is not equal to RHL. If function is either increasing or decreasing, okay, and then greatest integer of fx, this function is always discontinuous at every point where fx become integer. Okay, na? If you take decreasing function, also same thing. See, if you are taking decreasing function, suppose this is the decreasing function, and at x equals to 2, this become 4. Okay, integer. Now if you put 2 plus, okay, if you put 2 plus, then this is 4 minus. 4 minus, then greatest integer of this one is 3. 4 minus just less than 4 now, 3.999, greatest integer is 3. Okay, if you take 2 minus, then this is 4 plus. 4 plus, greatest integer of 4 plus is equals to 4. So RHL is not equals to LHL in case of increasing or decreasing function. Okay, if you are finding a continuity at any point where fx become integer, okay, for greatest integer of fx, then function is always discontinuous. Okay, so see, what can I write now? चूँकि log ex is increasing function, monotonic function. Monotonic, it means either increasing or decreasing. This is increasing function. Okay, because log x is monotonic function, therefore greatest integer of log x is discontinuous at all points, at all possible points of discontinuity. Okay, means points of discontinuity e power minus 1, e power 0, e power 1, e power 2 up to infinity. Okay, at every point this one is discontinuous. Write down. Done. Second, fx is equals to sine inverse x. Okay, again see, greatest integer of fx. Okay, and sine inverse x is continuous but increasing function. This is also monotonic. Graph of sine inverse x is, this is the graph of sine inverse x na, from -1 to +1. At +1, value of this one is equals to pi by 2. and at minus 1 value is equals to minus pi by 2. This is the graph of y equals to sine inverse x. Now again see, here sine inverse x is continuous function, so because of the sun there is no point of discontinuity. Okay, here now we have greatest integer of sine x, and we know that in case of greatest integer of fx, continuity should be checked at all the point where fx become integer. It means where sine inverse x become integer. Okay, now sine inverse x become integer. So first possible point of discontinuity we have to find now. Possible points of discontinuity. Where sine inverse x become integer. Now actually value of sine inverse is lies from minus pi by 2 to plus pi by 2. Value of sine inverse from minus pi by 2 to plus pi by 2. Minus pi by 2, pi it means 3.14. Minus pi by 2 it means minus 1.57. Pi is 3.14 now, then pi by 2 is 1.57. Minus pi by 2 is minus 1.57. So sine inverse x can take values from minus pi by 2, it means minus 1.57 to plus 1.57, and between these two values minus pi by 2 and plus pi by 2 we have only three integer, minus 1, 0 and 1. So when sine inverse x become integer, then we have to check the continuity at that point. Okay, so now find the value of x. Sine of minus 1, minus sine 1, sine of 0, 0, and sine of 1, sine 1. You can't find directly value of sine 1 now. 1 is 57 degree. Sine 60 value we have, but 1 is approximately 57 degree not directly. So like this one. Now see, these are the possible point of discontinuity. Why? Because at these points sine inverse x become integer, and this is greatest integer of fx form. Okay, but now again see, here sine inverse x is increasing function. If fx is a monotonic function, it means either increasing or decreasing, then there is no need to check the continuity at these points. Directly you can write that function is discontinuous at the possible points. Okay, in case of monotonic function. Okay, so directly you can say that, and if you check now, then also you will get that this is discontinuous at every point. Easily you can check. Okay, sine inverse x is monotonic increasing. Okay, therefore greatest integer of sine x is discontinuous at x equals to minus sine 1, 0 and sine 1. Okay, at all possible point of discontinuity this is discontinuous. Okay, remember this is if fx is monotonic. Okay na, if this is not monotonic, then we have to check. Okay, then directly we can't say that this function is discontinuous at these all points. Okay, now third one, Canara. Third one is fx is equals to greatest integer of 2 by 1 plus x square. Again this is continuous, 2 is constant function, continuous, polynomial, continuous. Continuous by continuous, total is continuous. So this is completely continuous function. So because of this one there is no point of discontinuity, no possible point of discontinuity. Then in case of greatest integer of fx, we have to check the continuity at point where fx become integer. Okay, so first I am finding possible points of discontinuity. Possible point of discontinuity where 2 by 1 plus x square become integer. Okay na. become integer. Now actually see, 1 minute. 1 plus x square, it is given that x is greater than 0, so you can't take any value of x which is less than 0. Okay, don't consider negative value of x. Okay, now 2 by 1 plus x square, can I say that 1 plus x square is always greater than equals to 1? Obviously 1 plus positive value always greater than 1. So 2 by 1 plus x square, this is always greater than 1. If you divide 2 with any value greater than 1, then you will get a value always less than equals to 2. Equals to 2 if this is equals to 1. If this is greater than 1, then total value is less than 2. Okay, and this is always positive. So how many integer it can take? It can take 2. This can't be greater than 2 now. This can be less than equals to 2. This can be 2. It can be 1. It can be 0. No, actually this becomes 0 if this becomes infinity. 2 by infinity is equals to 0 now, but you can't, and this become infinity if this one is infinity, but we can't take x as infinity, so you can't consider, you can't take 2 0 also in this one. Okay, so it can take only two integer, 2 and 1, because this is always less than equals to 2. This will be equals to 2 when x is equals to 0. So if you solve this one and this one, you will get x equals to 0. At x equals to 0, this is equals to 2 now. Now if you solve this one and this one, you will get x equals to 1. If you put x equals to 1, then 1 plus 1 2. 2 by 2 is equals to 1. Okay, so we are getting two values 0 and 1. And now check function is monotonic or not. Fx is equals to 2 by 1 plus x square. If you find f dash x, if you find f dash x, then 2 constant 1 by x form minus 1 by x square. Okay, and into, actually 2 is constant, I am assuming this one as x, then it become 1 by x. Differentiation of 1 by x is minus 1 by x square. Okay, now again we have to differentiate assuming x. This is the assuming x, now differentiate this one. Derivative of 1 is 0, derivative of x square is 2x, multiply. Okay, now can I say that f dash x is equals to minus 4x by 1 plus x square, and it is given that x is greater than 0. If x is greater than 0, then it means this one is positive into minus negative, and this is always positive. Negative by positive is also negative. So this is always less than 0. If f dash x is always less than 0, it means fx is decreasing. If fx is decreasing, it means monotonic. If function is monotonic, then it will be discontinuous at every possible point of discontinuity. Okay, fx is monotonic. Okay, decreasing. If f dash x is positive for all value of x, then increasing function. If less than 0, it means negative, then decreasing function. If taking both positive and negative, then neither increasing nor decreasing function. But at this time this is less than 0, so decreasing function, it means monotonic. Therefore fx is discontinuous at all at points x equals to 0 and 1. Okay, here greater than equals to 0. So greater than equals to 0, we can take 0 also. Okay, done. Write down. Right, next question. Fx is equals to 1 plus x cube when x is less than 0, x square minus 1 when x is greater than equals to 0, gx is equals to x minus 1 power 1 by 3 when x is less than 0, and x plus 1 power 1 by 2 when x is greater than equals to 0. Okay, now question is comment on the continuity of g of fx at x equal to 1. Okay, now fx and gx is given, and what do you want? Comment on the continuity of g of fx at x equals to 1. Okay, so any function is said to be continuous at any point x equals to 1 if LHL equals to RHL equals to value of the function at 1. Okay, so just find the value. Remember, if you want continuity at any point, there is no need to find first this composite function. Directly you can find the continuity. Okay, so see, 8x equals to 1. First I am finding g of f1, value of the function at this point, because this must be equals to LHL and RHL. Okay, so first point f1, value of fx equals to this one when x is less than 0, equals to this one when x is greater than equals to 0. This is greater than 0 now. Okay, so in this one put, if you put x equals to 1, 1 is square minus 1. Okay, what we are getting? z0. f1 equals to 0 now, put x equals to 1, you will get now z0, x greater than equals to 0, then this is the value, then 0 plus 1 power 1 by 2, what we are getting? 1. Okay, so g of f1 is equals to 1. Now LHL and RHL must be equals to 1, otherwise this is not continuous. Okay, now LHL is limit h tending to 0, value of the function at 1 minus h. Okay, now find f1 minus h. f1 minus h from 1 minus h is also greater than 0 na. fx equals to this one if x is less than 0, and equals to this one if x is greater than equals to 0, and this is not less than 0. 1 minus h like 0.9999, so greater than 0, so put in this one. If you put in this one, limit h tending to 0, f1 minus h, 1 minus h whole square minus 1. Okay, g of this is the value of f1 minus h. Okay, now can I say that this value is less than 0? Obviously, or I can solve. See, limit h tending to 0, g of, if you expand this one, then 1 square, 1 cancel out, minus 2h plus h square, minus 2h plus h square. Now actually now 2h is greater than h square, so negative value is higher than positive value, so this is negative. And also from this one you can say that this is negative. 1 minus h, 1 minus h is less than 1. Okay, less than 1 square is again less than 1, less than 1 minus 1, negative. Okay, so this value is negative, it means less than 0. Now value of this one, g equals to this one if x is less than 0, and g equals to this one if x is greater than 0. This is less than 0, so value from this one, limit h tending to 0, at the place of x what we have to put? Minus 2h plus h square, then minus 1 whole power 1 by 3. Okay, now at the end after simplification we have to put h equals to 0, so just put the value h equals to 0. If you put h equals to 0, what we are getting? Minus 1 power 1 by 3, that is equals to minus 1. Now easily you can see that g of f1 is not equals to LHL, so there is no need to find RHL. This is discontinuous at x equals to 1. Okay. So discontinuous at x equals to 1. Okay, so function is discontinuous. Write down. Done. Okay. Next question. Fx is equals to greatest integer of sin pi x. Okay, for x from 0 to 1 and signum x minus 5 by 4 fractional part of x minus 2 by 3 for x from 1 to 2. Okay, then comment or find all points of discontinuity of function in the interval 0, 2. Okay, now find the all point of discontinuity of the function in the interval 0, 2. So first we have to find the all possible point of discontinuity, then we have to check the continuity at the possible points of discontinuity. Okay, now see, first possible points of discontinuity. See, so first because of defined function, now revise the note. Okay, continuity should be checked at the following point. First point is, in case of defined function, we have to check the continuity at every point where definition of the function changes. Okay, and here at x equals to 1, definition changes. When x is less than 1, value of fx is equals to this one. When x is greater than equals to 1, then value of fx is equals to this one. So you have to check the continuity at point x equals to 1. First one is 1. Okay, at every point where definition of the function changes. Okay, second point of that note is, we have to check the continuity of the in case of greatest integer of fx and fractional part of fx. You have to check the continuity at every point where fx become integer. Okay, this is the greatest integer of x. So you have to check the continuity at point where fx become integer. Okay, it means sin pi x become integer. Now here x from 0 to 1, this x from 0 to 1, then this pi x from 0 to pi, and from 0 to pi, at what value sin become integer? One is 0, sin 0 equals to 0, and other is pi by 2. Sin pi by 2 is equals to 1. Okay, and at pi also, but 1 is not included. If you put x equals to 1, then this become pi na. Okay, so if we are putting 0, sin 0 is integer na, so I have to take 0. Okay, if you put 1 by 2, this is taking from 0 to pi na, so between 0 and pi we have pi by 2 also. Okay, it will be pi by 2 if you put x equals to 1 by 2. Okay, at 1 by 2, this become pi by 2, sin pi by 2 equals to 1 integer, so I have to take this one. After 1 by 2, 1, but 1 is already taken. Okay, so you can't take 1 again na. Okay, so after that, fractional part of x minus 2 by 3. In case of fractional part of fx, we have to check the continuity at point where fx become integer. Okay, so x minus 2 by 3 integer. First, this will be integer at 2 by 3. 2 by 3 minus 2 by 3 is equals to 0 now. And next, this will be integer at 5 by 3. 5 by 3 minus 2 by 3 is 1. 5 by 3 minus 2 by 3 is 3 by 3, that is equals to 1 na? But see, 1 minute, you can't take 2 by 3 because 2 by 3 is not lies in this range. Here this is the value when x from 1 to 2. So this x must be between 1 and 2 now, and this is less than 1, so I can't take this one, but this lies between 1 and 2, so we have to take 5 by 3. Okay, now next, this will be equals to 2 if you are putting x as 8 by 3. 8 by 3 minus 2 by 3 is 6 by 3. 6 by 3 is equals to 2, but I can't take 8 by 3 because 8 by 3 is greater than 2, but here x from 1 to 2. Okay, so you can't take this one. So in this interval from 1 to 2, we have only one value such that this become integer, that is 5 by 3. Okay, now next, so second point is done. Now third point is, in case of signum fx, in case of signum fx, you have to check the continuity at point where fx becomes 0. This becomes 0 at 5 by 4. Okay, now check, can I take 5 by 4? 5 by 4 is greater than 1 now, and here x is 1 to 2, so I can take 5 by 4. Okay, so these are the possible point of discontinuity. Now we have to check the continuity at these all points. Now first, at x equals to 0. Now see, but we want continuity in this interval 0 comma 2. So at 0 you can't find LHL. In case of closed interval a to b, you have to check the continuity at a only from right side. It means f0 must be equals to RHL. Okay na? For LHL we have to put 0 minus h, but that is less than 0. That x is not in this interval na, so you can't check LHL at x equals to 0. So just find f0 and RHL. f0, if you put x equals to 0 in this one, greatest integer of 0, that is equals to 0. And RHL, actually if you put RHL also you will get same value. See, RHL is limit h tending to 0, you can't find LHL. At a you have to find only, you have to check only right side limit. Okay, limit h tending to 0, f0 plus h, fh. Okay, and limit h tending to 0, greatest integer of sine pi h. H is a very small quantity. If you multiply with pi, again it becomes very small quantity. So sine pi h is like 0 plus, but greatest integer of 0 plus is 0. 0 plus, it means just greater than 0. So this value is also equals to 0. f0 equals to RHL. So continuous at x equals to 0. Okay. Second point, x equals to 1 by 2. 1 by 2. So first find f1 by 2. If you put x equals to 1 by 2, then what we are getting? Sine pi by 2, that is equals to 1. Greatest integer of 1 is equals to 1. Okay. Now LHL. LHL, limit h tending to 0, f 1 by 2 minus h. Okay, if you replace x as 1 by 2 minus h, what you will get? Limit h tending to 0, greatest integer of sine pi into 1 by 2 minus h. Okay, if you multiply pi, then what you will get? Pi by 2 minus pi h. Okay, now can I say that this angle is less than pi by 2? Now after this one you have two options. Either you can convert this one in terms of sine pi by 2 minus theta, cos theta, then you will get cos pi h. Okay, cos pi h is just less than 1, and directly I can say, see, can I say that this angle is pi by 2 minus pi h? If you are subtracting something from pi by 2, then this value is just less than pi by 2. Sine pi by 2 is equals to 1, and sine pi by 2 minus is 1 minus. See how? This is the graph of sine x. This is pi by 2. Here x is just less than pi by 2. This one. At pi by 2 value is equals to 1. At pi by 2 minus, this value is less than 1. Okay, 1 minus 0.9999 like this. At pi by 2 only value is 1. If you take any other pi by 2 plus or pi by 2 minus, you will get 1 minus. Okay, so this is limit h tending to 0, greatest integer of 1 minus, that is equals to 0. Now see, f1 by 2 is not equals to LHL, so function is discontinuous. Discontinuous at x equals to 1 by 2. Okay. Now third point, at x equals to 1. Okay. Now again first find f1. f1 x is greater than equals to 1 in this one. Put x equals to 1. If you put x equals to 1, signum 1 minus 5 by 4. Negative na? 1 minus 5 by 4 minus 1 by 4. If x is negative, then signum value is minus 1. Okay. And 1 minus 2 by 3. 1 minus 2 by 3 is 1 by 3. Fractional part of 1 by 3 is 1 by 3. Itself, this is the pointed value na? So answer is minus 1 by 3. Okay. Now choose LHL or RHL. I am finding first LHL. Okay. LHL. Limit h tending to 0, f1 minus h. Okay. Limit h tending to 0, greatest integer of sign pi. At the place of x, put 1 minus h and multiply with pi. What you will get? Pi minus pi h. Okay. Now see. Limit h tending to 0, sin pi minus pi h is sin pi h. Okay, sin pi h, s is a very small positive value. Multiply with pi, again you will get very small positive value. Now sin theta, when theta is just greater than 0, is value is also just greater than 0. 0 plus na. See, this is the graph of sin x. This angle is like 0 plus. Suppose this is pi s, then value of sin is 0 plus na, just greater than 0. So limit h tending to 0, this value is 0 plus, so greatest integer is 0. Okay, so f1 is not equal to LHL, so discontinuous. Discontinuous at x equals to 1. Okay. Now what remaining? 5 by 3 and 5 by 4. Now see, actually similarly at 5 by 3 also you will get discontinuous. Directly I can explain you. See, 5 by 3. If you put 5 by 3, then 5 by 3 minus 5 by 4, positive. Okay. So signum is 1. If you put 5 by 3 plus, then also this is 1. Because this is 5 by 4 and this is 5 by 3 or 5 by 3 plus or 5 by 3 minus. This value is always positive, so signum is equal to 1. Okay. If you put 5 by 3, then this become 1. Fractional part of 1 is 0. Okay. Now if you put 5 by 3 minus, this is 1 minus, and fractional part of 1 minus is 1 minus h, it means 1. Not getting? Okay, see, I am taking last 5 by 3. I will not take for 5 by 4. At 5 by 4 also this will be discontinuous, I know. Okay, so I will take 5 by 3. Can I have these 3? Okay, fourth, x equals to 5 by 3. Okay, f5 by 3. If you put x equals to 5 by 3 greater than 1 now, occur in this interval, put in this one. Signum 5 by 3 minus 5 by 4. Okay, and fractional part of 5 by 3 minus 2 by 3. 5 by 3 minus 5 by 4 is positive value, then signum value is plus 1. 5 by 3 minus 2 by 3 is 3 by 3. 3 by 3 is 1, fractional part of 1 is 0. Fractional part of integer value is always equals to 0. Okay, so this is 0. Now I am finding LHL. LHL is limit h tending to 0, f5 by 3 minus h. Put limit h tending to 0, signum 5 by 3 minus h minus 5 by 4. Okay, and here fractional part, if you put 5 by 3 minus h, then 5 by 3 minus 2 by 3 is 1. So what you will get? 1 minus h. Okay. Now actually now 5 by 3 minus h is just less than 5 by 3. But this is, in these two we have a more difference now. Okay. 5 by 3 minus h is also greater than 5 by 4 because this is only just less than 5 by 3. Okay. But this is not just less than 5 by 3. Okay. In these two we have a measurable difference. Okay. So this is positive. Okay. Limit h tending to 0, this is equals to 1. Now fractional part of 1 minus h. 1 minus h is like 0.99999. Okay. And fractional part of 0.99999 is same thing because this is the pointed value. Okay. 0. So I am writing 1 minus h. Now put h equals to 0. What we are getting? 1. Now f 5 by 3 is not equals to LHL. So function is discontinuous. Discontinuous at x equals to 5 by 3. Similarly, fx is discontinuous at x equals to 5 by 4. Okay. So points of discontinuity, except 0, all at every point the one is discontinuous. 1, 1 by 2, 5 by 3, 5 by 4. Okay, write down. So this is all about continuity. Okay, and now jump of discontinuity, type of discontinuity is not in course, okay, of JEE. So I am not taking removable and non-removable discontinuity, jump of discontinuity. Okay na? Can I rough? Okay. Now next is mean value theorem. Sorry, intermediate value theorem. Next is intermediate value theorem. Okay, now actually this is simple but only for continuous function. Is if a function is continuous, then only you can use this one. See, now suppose fx is any continuous function. Suppose fx is any continuous function in the interval a comma b. We have a function f which is continuous in interval a comma b such that fa and fb both are of opposite sign. Suppose fa is positive and fb is negative and function is continuous. If function is continuous, if you draw the graph from a to b, okay, then you can't break the graph because continuous na. So suppose I am joining like this one. Okay, now one thing is clear that definitely I have to cross x axis at least one time. I can also cross this one more than one time, suppose like this one, so more than one time. Okay, and at this point fx is equals to 0, so this is the root of fx equals to 0. So what is the intermediate theorem? First point is, if f is a continuous function in interval a comma b, okay, such that fa and fb both has different sign, one is positive, other is negative, then we have at least one root of the equation fx equals to 0 in interval a comma b. Obviously fa is positive, fb negative, so at least if you join them anyhow, okay, then we have to cross x axis at least one time. I can also cross more than one time. Because of that I am saying that at least one root. Okay, and second point is also same. Now suppose if fa and fb are not of opposite sign, suppose both are positive but function is continuous, because this theorem for continuous function, suppose this is fa and this is fb, okay, this value is fa and this one is fb, okay, and function is continuous, suppose this is the function, continuous function. Now if you take, now I can say that if you take any value between fa and fb, okay, suppose k is any real number between fa and fb, then between a and b we have at least one x such that fx is equals to k, okay. See how, at this x value of fx is equals to k, simple. If you are taking this one as k, then again I can find one x between a and b such that fx equals to k. If you are taking this one, then at one x fx equals to k, okay. So what is the intermediate theorem? Any function f, a function fx which is continuous in a comma b, okay, suppose function is continuous in a comma b close interval, possess the following properties. Okay, if there is any function fx which is continuous in a comma b, then this function always possesses following properties. It means two results, okay. First result is if fa and fb both possess different sign, then we have at least one root of the equation fx equals to 0. If fa and fb both are of different sign, then there exists at least one solution of the equation fx equals to 0, okay na. If fa and fb both has different sign, then we have at least one solution of the equation fx equals to 0. Thus it means we have at least one point of intersection of the graph with x-axis in case of continuous function, okay. And for this one, if k is any real number between fa and fb, then there exists at least one root of the equation, there at least one solution of the equation fx equals to 0 in open a comma b, okay na. Root lies between a and b. One root of the equation fx equals to k in a comma b. Between a and b at least we have one value of x such that fx is equals to k, okay. Write down, okay, done. Canara. Okay, write a question. Fx is equals to x e power x minus 2. Then show that fx equals to 0 has at least one root in the interval 0, 1. Now just simply, this is based on intermediate value theorem. See, f0 equals to, if you put x equals to 0, then 0, 1, minus 2. And f1 equals to, if you put 1, then 1 e power 1 minus 2. Okay, this is less than 0, this is greater than 0. And fx is continuous or not? Polynomial continuous, exponential continuous, continuous into continuous, continuous, continuous minus continuous, continuous. And fx is continuous function. f0 negative, f1 positive. Okay, like this one. This is 0 and this is 1. f0 negative, f1 positive. And draw any continuous function without break. Then we have at least one root. Okay, if like this one, then we have more than one root. Therefore fx equals to 0 has at least one root in 0, 1. Okay, done. Write down. Next, given that A is greater than B is greater than C is greater than D, then prove that the equation x minus A x minus C plus 2x minus B into x minus D equals to 0 will have real and distinct roots. Okay, now actually there is no need to find root. We want to prove that this equation has real and distinct root. Okay, equation is x minus A x minus C plus 2x minus B x minus D equals to 0. I am assuming this one as fx. Okay, now it is given for a b c d, just find the value at a b c d. Okay, this is quadratic polynomial, quadratic equation. Okay, so if you put fa is 0 to a minus b a minus d. See, a is greater than b, a is greater than d, then positive greater than 0. Okay, now find fb b minus a b minus c, b minus b is 0. Okay, b is less than a, so this is negative. B minus c, b is greater than c, positive, so less than 0. Okay, now if you find fc, put x equals to c, c minus c equals to 0, to c minus b, c minus d. C is less than b, so negative, and c is greater than d, so positive, so total is less than 0. Similarly, if you find fd, then d minus a, d minus c, d minus d equals to 0. D minus a, d is less than a, so negative, d is less than c, so negative. Okay, negative, positive. Now if you try to draw the graph, then easily you can see this is from intermediate value theorem. Directly also I can say we have at least one root between a and b because both are of different sign. We have at least one root between c and d because both are of opposite sign. and it has only two root because quadratic equation, so both are different. Okay, now see, otherwise if I draw the graph, a is greater than b is greater than c is greater than d, d is the least, then c, then b, and then a. Okay, now see, value at d is negative, suppose this is the value at c is, sorry, at d positive, value at c is negative, suppose this is, value at b is negative, suppose this one, and value at a is positive, take anyone, doesn't matter. Now join them, this is the quadratic polynomial. Okay, so quadratic polynomial is always like this one. Now this is alpha and this is beta, you have one root between d and c, other root between b and a. Okay, so this is intermediate value theorem. Okay, from next class we will start differentiability.